I'm in Oaxaca, Mexico, and I'm going to turn this door into this painting. I'll show you how on brush to canvas. I'm a plein air and studio painter, and I travel the world in search of great locations and great subjects to paint. My favorite part about painting is teaching others how to paint. Mexico, a beautiful country full of beautiful people. The architecture here is just unbelievable. A lot of colonial style buildings. They have these great doorways everywhere, fantastic entrances to different buildings, and beautiful doors. I love painting in this country. There's so much old architecture here with beautiful textures and a lot of color. As you probably know, I usually start with a paper towel. I dip it in paint. This paint happens to be transparent oxide red. Pretty wet when I put it on. And then I usually add some ultramarine blue to it to make a dark or a black color. I'm just kind of looking for the darks right now, establishing some major lines in the painting. I do this kind of scratching to sort of create some early excitement in the painting. I like a lot of movement. Then I do this splatter. Take your brush and you dip it in OMS, odorless mineral spirits, and make it quite thin with some dark paint on it. And then you hit it against your hand onto the panel and it creates a splatter. So now I'm just searching for the darkest darks, beginning to outline them. I like to keep this real loose feel. I want to create this gray undertone for the plaster. I'll be putting on this bright sun-drenched plaster look after I get this gray undertone established. In architectural painting, you want your strokes to be straight, plumb, and level. Level, of course, is left to right. Plumb is up and down. And then most lines in architecture are straight. So that's why you use a lot of knives, and you'll see me carefully drawing straight lines and also trying to stay plumb, straight up and down, and then, of course, level straight across. Now that I put some darks on, then I want to put some of these lightest lights on. Sometimes I'll add this black background so you can just see the painting a little bit differently. This is the beginning of the doorway, walkway, the steps. You'll see me flick my paper towel on the painting every once in a while. This creates this feeling of sort of movement and excitement. These grays are a combination of ultramarine blue and transparent oxide red and white. One reason you keep your mixes simple is because when you go back to fix something, repair something, or add something to your painting later, it's easy to find the color. You don't have 5 or 6 colors in a mixture. You've got a simple combination of ultramarine blue and transparent oxide red in this case, and then of course some white. So it's really easy to match later. This door is going to be cobalt blue. I'll turn the live shot on again here so you can see the subject matter. This door could be finished right now. It has that nice old wood look. Get my liner brush out several times during the course of the painting. And most of these lines will get covered up with other strokes, but it helps me establish the drawing. Again, I do this flicking around with my liner brush, and it creates this sense of movement and excitement. You'll see most of my strokes are either left to right or up and down. Anytime you're doing architectural painting, you always have to think about straight, plumb, and level. One of the things that happens when you're painting outside with one of these paint box easels, when you use knives, you're pushing against your canvas, and so you end up pushing your canvas backwards. This is kind of a trick when you are making a turn. Keep your brush on the canvas, and it's easier to make a rounded turn. So here are the mixes for this painting. And also I'll show you some techniques with the knife. So here's ultramarine blue. And then I clean my knife before I pick up any other color. Clean your knife with your paper towel because you don't want to pollute the other color when you pick it up. Now I get some transparent oxide red, then clean my knife before I pick up the white and lay down the white. And I can lean either to the warm side with the transparent oxide red, or I can lean to the blue side with the ultramarine blue. So you can see that we're creating a gray color here. It's going from a cool side all the way over to a warm side. Clean your knife. It's like cleaning your brushes. Every time you switch colors, you clean your brush. Now here's the highlights, the color of the plaster on the outside of the wall. Titanium white, and then Windsor yellow deep. And then sometimes I'll add a little bit of this gray to it so it's not such a intense color. It can go all the way from pure white all the way down to a warm gray. And the color for the flowers is alizarin crimson with a little cad red in it. And of course, some white if you want it. Clean your knife before you grab any white. Now I'm going to get some odorless mineral spirits on my knife and drip it into this paint. I want to mix it up. It's about the viscosity of hand lotion when I put it on the canvas. Then I clean my knife, and I grab some paint, and here's what it looks like on the knife. It's how much I get. See, it's not very much, and it's just right on the edge. And you can make a real sharp line, or you can drag your paint across the canvas. Here's my 1-inch knife. Same thing. See how much is on there? Very little, and it's right on the edge. Make a sharp line. I'll use some dark paint here so you can see it a little better. Nice sharp line, and you can also drag it. I clean my knife and then drag. Of course, it works better on a canvas. This is on glass. Now, the other way to get a nice sharp line is to use a window scraper. It's got a razor blade on it. And make sure the razor blade is new, or you'll get these little gaps. So here's a window scraper, paint scraper. Make a little scoop like that. You can see how much is on the blade there, not much. So this creates these nice straight lines. You can use it on buildings, on ships, the mast of a ship. Just touch it, so you get a nice straight line. So there's a couple tips and tricks with the knives and the scrapers. Again, I'm being very careful about being straight, plumb, and level. I'm level on the front part of this column, but you also have to obey the rules of perspective when you draw the side of this column. See, I'm keeping my brush on the canvas as I make that turn. I'm not picking at it. A lot of my paintings look like they were done really fast, but there's a lot of time spent on my paintings doing these kinds of things. And a lot of this will actually get covered up with other strokes. Being really careful to make sure this is plumb. So see, these highlights would not show up if that dark gray was not underneath it. So you have to put that gray color or darker color down first. Struggling with this door. I haven't really found the look that I want. So you can tell that I'm sort of struggling with this door. You can use your brush to straighten out these lines on architectural paintings where you're not quite level or you're not quite plumb. I love these textures that you see in Mexico and Italy and in the Middle East. And these kind of paintings are so much more interesting than trying to duplicate something exactly the way you see it. It's so much more fun to be creative than to try to capture something exactly the way it looks. I grew out of that one a long time ago. A little bit of this red color into the plant. This is a combination of alizarin crimson and a little bad red, and of course white. These architectural paintings, I rarely go at an angle with my knife. It's almost always left to right or up and down. Right now, I'm also just experimenting a lot. I'll probably change this wall 2 or 3 times before I decide how I want it to feel. Still struggling with this crazy door. Notice you put some light on that blue and it pulls that door forward, makes the door appear closer to you. Again, I'm just experimenting here. I'm thinking, well, what if I have a line of light across here at that angle? Trying to make that door just a little bit more interesting. Now I'm bringing some of that gray color down into the bottom area of the painting. Sort of helps tie things together. See how you can soften those lines by using your finger? Sometimes I'll just change gears, I'll just pick up my liner brush and play around with something when I get tired of working a certain area or I get frustrated or can't figure out what to do. Just get my liner brush out and do a few little wild and crazy strokes. So this is my brush cleaner, and I have a bird screen inside of the brush cleaner that's about an inch tall. So when I scrape my brush across the screen, the paint falls into the bottom of the tank. I use odorless mineral spirits. You can buy this at any hardware store or Walmart. Keep your mineral spirits about an inch above the bird screen. When you drag your brush across the bird screen, the paint falls into the bottom of the tank. And you have to do this before every color change. Clean your brush really good and then dry it. Clean it again and then dry it. Now it's ready to use. You have to do this between every color change. I have a lid for my tank. I can clamp it down if I want to for carrying it when I carry it in my backpack. I think I bought this tank on Amazon. It's actually a food container, but the bird screen was not with it. By the way, you cannot take this OMS, odorless mineral spirits, on an airplane. Every time I travel, I have to buy new odorless mineral spirits in whatever country I go to. Finally decided to change this door completely. I'm tired of messing with it. I've been fighting it. I'm going to do the dark door thing, and it does improve the painting. I still want it to look like a blue door, but I'm just going to darken it down a bit. But the trick that I do in a lot of my paintings softens the edges, makes it look more interesting, more exciting. Also, right here, I'm scratching with my knife. There's so many places in this painting where you could just quit and it would be finished. And this is one of them. You could call this painting done. I like these mysterious entryways like this where there's really no defined way to get in. So I'm not that happy with the bright white over there on the other side of the wall. I think it could use a little bright white, but not so much. It's competing with the other side. So I'll probably put some kind of a white strip across there or something. I'm going to start developing my steps here. Again, this is just another version of that gray, just a combination of transparent oxide red and ultramarine blue. You can see here that I'm getting further and further away from the actual look of this wall and door. I'm just using it as a reference. This is the exciting part about being an artist. You can be creative. It's a lot harder to be creative than it is to be a painter. Lots of people can paint. Not that many people are creative. I tell my students, outside is where you learn how to paint. The studio is where you learn how to be creative. Still kind of experimenting with a line of light through that doorway, but haven't figured it out yet. Just a little experiment right there. Probably won't work out. I'm just kind of pushing the paint right here from one side to the other just to straighten out that line. Putting a little green in here now, since there's some green in those plants. Green is a combination of ultramarine blue and Windsor yellow light. It's another time when you could say this painting's finished. So I come getting my signature on there. This is after I step back and have a look, then I start repairing a few little places that I think are a little bit, that could use a little bit of help. Still playing with that edge. Can't really quite figure it out yet. you do this plaster, the edge of the plaster has shadow under it, and that's what that is right there. And then I'll drag plaster over that again. I like that diagonal line going down there. I'll probably keep this. Little trick with the paper on there. It gives you a nice sharp line across there. I still want this door to appear blue, so here's one way that I'll do it. That's like a line of light across there. It shows the door. So there it is, La Puerta Azul, the blue door. You can practice these strokes and some of these techniques that I've shown you in this painting. So next time you paint a door, be creative. Don't just paint what you see. I believe that every part of a painting should be interesting and almost abstract. When you keep your lines exciting and very loose like this, you end up with something that's fun to look at and also fun to paint. So put your brush to canvas and create something fun.